we will continue the unit number 2, advanced structural modeling. In the last class, we discussed about relationship between your interface and then what are different relationships are available in the class diagram we discussed in detail about. In today class, we will discuss about a package, class, and object diagrams. So, what is mean package diagram, and what is mean by class diagram, and what is mean by an object diagram. So that we will discuss today class in detailed manner. So first of all, what is mean by package? The package is represented in the UML diagram. A rectangular box at left top corner, there should be a small tab. So this is a representation of a package diagram in the UML. So what is mean by a package? So a package is a container like element for organizing other element into the groups. Otherwise, a package can contain the class and other package and diagrams. And package can be used to provide controlled access between classes in different packages. So this all the things, three different techniques that we are telling about what is mean by package and what are the things are going to be inculcated inside your package diagram. And this is sample of example that they are mentioning over here as a package name as compiler. So I can mention a package other name like university. One university I can mention, that is one package diagram. Inside package I can mention any kind of a class like computer department is one class, electronics department is other class, mechanical engineering is other class. So similarly, what are the programs that we are offering by the university that I can put it inside the university package diagram. So this is going to be controlled access between all the classes in the different packages. So I can take a GUIT here one package and GC it is another package. Now these two different are going to be organized by the same person, but the affiliated by this is other university and this is actually GU is a university. So the rules and regulations are getting differ, but the who is going to be maintained by the person is getting same, right? So this is a other way of an example that I am telling about what is meant by package diagram. And coming to the next thing, how the front end and back end are going to be putting it inside into one single package diagram. So that we will discuss in this particular slide. So class is a front end package and class is a backend package and cannot access each other in this diagram. So what they're telling, because whenever we are developing any software, there should be a front end and there should be a back end. So back end is in a database, so we can able to store your data and you can able to retrieve your data, but you cannot able to go and see all the things. So you can able to view the data from your front end, right? So this is how the designing of any kind of software development. But here in the package diagram, that is your main package diagram name is a compiler. In the compiler I am putting two different classes. One is a front end and other is a back end class. So these two things are going to be putting as a one same package name as a compiler. So you can mention the compiler package by using of your front end class and backend class. And now how to communicate between your front end and back end. So there are different kind of notations are available that we discussed at all the relationships set in the previous class. Anyway, I will recall all the relationships once again. We will have association with a direct line, arrow mark, and dependency is a second relationship, dotted line with an arrow mark, and third one is a generalization, straight line with a triangle symbol at the upper side, and then aggregation, straight line, at last diamond symbol, and composition, a straight line with a diamond symbol with a shadow of your black color. So these are all the things are different relationships are available in your UML, but in the package diagram you may use either association or a dependency or a generalization. So these three things are majorly that we are using in the package diagram. So here we are having a front end and we are having a back end of a package diagram. So these two things are going to be communicated between a dependency communication. So dependency is one of the relationship that will going to be used to link between your front end and your back end by using of your family package name is compiler, right? So inside the two different packages that I'm inserted, and these two different package are going to be communicated by using of dependency relationship. And now suppose I don't have a whole complete package, so I'm having a separate of package diagram. So how we will going to be communicate? So now I'm having a compiler is a one package diagram, and Java compiler is another package diagram, and Java language is other package diagram. So now you can able to communicate between these three different package diagram by using of what kind of relationship that you will use. So here that we are using Java compiler and Java. So Java compiler, obviously that we know the Java coding only it will going to be executed in the Java compiler. Am I right? So the Java compiler is going to be depends upon the Java language, right? But the Java compiler is going to be inherit from your compiler, because compiler is a common word. There are many compilers are available, right? So the compiler which is your base and Java compiler is your super class. So now these two different packages are going to be communicated or related between generalization communication. So this straight line with the triangle symbol of upper side that indicated as a generalization. So the Java compiler are going to be inherit from your compiler. So whatever the rules that we are followed in your compiler, that is always applicable in your Java compiler, right? So this is a way that they are doing the communication between your package diagram, right? And coming to this class diagram relationship, so this we already discussed, but this is a very brief how each and every notations are going to be, what kind of information is telling in the class diagram that I'm telling it in detailed manner. So we know very well the first portion is always your class name, and second portion is always your attribute of the class name, and the third portion is always your operation or function or method for your class. So here the class name is your minimum heap, right? For the minimum heap, what is the attribute that I am given over here? So heap, that is 1 to unordered, and count, that is the other variable that is mentioned with the data type as integer, and initial value they are given as 0, and array size is always indicated by the integer data type, and these are all hidden. So this hidden information is all are going to be an operation that will done by your minimum heap. So it will done by clear, and it will go for enqueue, dequeue, and then destroy, empty, capacity of your and size of your minimum heap. All these things that we will do as an operation of the particular class, right? So coming to this attribute, the before I was mentioning some pink color line, just hyphen hyphen hyphen. So this hyphen is going to be indicated as a private. So this particular variable are going to be declared as a private. So this is not for common. So this should be a unique value, or it's going to be not inherited or not shared to any other classes. So this is a private value which is going to be indicated in the minus value. So this heap, count, array size, these are the green color, which are all the name which is going to be given as an attribute name for this minimum heap. And coming to this object, integer, this red color, which all the things are going to be giving what kind of data type that we are using for this particular attribute, right? And if you want to initialize any value, initially I am just taking count value as 0, then obviously we can give initial value as 0. So that is indicated by the blue color as an initial value, and you have one and star. This is one to many, that also we discussed multiplicity concept, one to one, one to many, many to many, all the things. So multiplicity concept which are going to be used to communicate between all the things, right? So this is a whole class diagram for a single minimum heap that will provide all the. Then next topic, purpose of object diagram. The purpose of an object should always understand clearly how to implement in practical manner the particular object diagram that are always similar to your class diagram. And the difference is that a class diagram represents an abstract model consisting of the class and their relationship. However, an object diagram represents an instance of at a particular moment which is concrete in nature. So it means that the object diagram is always closer to the actual system behavior, and the purpose of this capture of the static view, the system is at particular moment. So whenever we are taking any kind of an object, the object like taking any laptop or mobile phone or fan, all these things are we are taking as an object. So this particular object, it should have an attribute and it should have the operation. Let them take an example, a mobile phone. So mobile phone is one object. So now this mobile phone, it should have some kind of specific attribute. What is the size, what is the color, and what is the dimension, and what kind of weight it should have, right? So this is basic of attribute for the mobile phone, which model it was, which brand it was, all these things. When coming to the operation, so operation means the particular mobile phone can going to be used to communicate to one person to other person, and it will going to be used for your data over internet, and you can able to go for data roaming, right? And uh, you can able to capture the image, or you can able to take the video. These all the things are different purpose of this particular mobile phone that we are using for day-to-day life. So this is a one basic of an object that we can take, and it will represent of a particular moment, and it will going to be always a concrete of the particular nature, right? And where to use this object diagram? So where will use? So object diagram, it can be imagined at the snapshot of a running system at a particular moment. So let us consider an example of a running train. Now, if you take a snap of the running train, then you will find a static picture of it having the following things. The first point, a particular state which is running, and the second point, a particular number of passengers which will change if the snap is taken in a different time. So this will going to be get changed that dynamically, right? So this is how when the object diagram it will going to be applied over at a different scenario. And how to draw an object diagram. So to capture a particular system, the number of class diagrams are going to be limited. And however, if we consider the object diagram, then we can have unlimited number of instances which are unique in nature. And only those instances are considered which have an impact on the particular system. So in this way, the object diagrams are going to be drawn in the specific particular software based upon the problem statement which they are taking from the customer side, and who is collecting the requirement or gathering the requirement from the customer side, and they are putting into a proper manner to plot at a proper object identification, and analyze the system and decide which instances have important data and association. And second thing, consider those instances which will cover the functionality. And third thing, make some kind of an optimization as the number of instances are unlimited. So among these three different categories, the particular object diagram you can draw at any circumstances is coming to the particular problem statement, right? The classification of diagram. So the UML diagram type. So what is mean by this UML? This is a unified modeling language. So this unified modeling language, which there are three persons they have developed this particular concept. Uh, the author name is Rahenberg, Booch, and Jacobson. So these three persons are developed initially. This UML concept is coming to the one shape, and they are coming to the market, and many companies are taken this concept and they are implementing it all the different kind of software development. And this UML diagram types are going to be divided into two different categories. One is structural diagram and second is a behavioral diagram. And the structural diagrams have a different kind and behavioral diagram have a different type. So a structural diagram which is coming under a package diagram and then a class diagram, a component diagram, object diagram, a deployment diagram, right, and then composite structure diagram. So this all the things are comes under a structural diagram. So now you can have a idea this particular object diagram whether it is comes under structural or behavioral. Now coming to that, the behavioral diagram. So the behavioral diagram which will have activity and use case and state machine diagram. So these three things are going to be used to check the behavior of the diagram. So if I'm giving some input and it will change the output and it will redefine or fine tune it, and based upon that the behavior will get changed. And interaction diagram, so interaction diagram which will provide a sequence diagram that will going to be give the lifelong line, and based upon that it will increase a lifeline. And communication diagram, so this communication diagram otherwise we can call as a collaboration diagram, and interaction overview diagram and timing diagram. So this all the things are going to be used for your interaction diagram that will comes under your behavioral categories of your UML type. And this is an example. So object diagram example, there is a POS, that's a point of sale. So this point of sale, how the object diagrams are going to be used. So take a class name as a staff, and second class name is a manager, and the third class name is a product, and the next class name is a supplier, and the next object name is a cashier, and the last one is a receipt. So now you are collecting the all your you are collecting all the different kind of object names. Now after that you have to mention the attribute or the function, the possibilities of the function, otherwise you can mention the attributes of the particular object, that is sufficient. So let them take example staff. The staff must have the ID and the staff must have the name. So what is the size of ID and what is the name of the particular staff? So that they are defining over here. And coming to the manager, manager must have the name of the person and then address of the particular manager. So that they are defining over here. And product. So every product, what is the name of it and what is the ID of the particular product and what is the description and what is the manufacturing date and what is the price of each product. And coming to the supplier, supplier must have the address and supplier must have the name. And cashier, every cashier in the point of sale, they must have unique ID. So based upon that ID, in the particular ID, what is the collection is done in the particular due time duration, so that we can able to calculate at very easy manner. And the cashier must have terminate number. And coming to the next one, receipt. In the receipt, when the customer is receiving the receipt in the point of sale, it must mention the bill date, bill number, and what is the total of cost, and as well as each product cost. So this must be ready with the receipt. So now we are very clear to view what are the different object name and what different object name must have the different kind of an attribute name. So now coming to here, how to communicate between of all your class diagram. So here they are used association line, because a point of sale at from the entry to exit, each and every place there should be a strong communication, because whenever we are going to any supermarket, we are entering into mall or when we are entering to any supermarket, and from the entry to till exit gate you have a strong communication. The person may be there or supplier may be there or some manager will be there or some cashier will be there, right? So every person we will going to be interact in a direct manner, and then we will receive the product and we will pay the money and we will buy the product and we will find receive the receipt. So this is how that we are doing it nowadays. So how this UML diagram will going to be represent with easy manner to understand it very clear. So that we are given as very brief introduction about this particular point of sale concept. And coming to this package diagram, so in previous that we discussed one package or two package like that, but here the package, it mean by that a rectangular box at the left topmost corner, one small tab will be there. So at inside of the every package they are mentioning the package name. So bank is one of the package name, UI, that is a user interface, is another package name. So now coming to here, a business, the business, they are mentioning one particular class name. Inside the business they are putting which all the different class names are coming over here. Accounts department may be one class, ordering is the other class, shipping is another class. These are three major important of the name of the package diagram that we are incorporating with your business of the package diagram. And now apart from this, I'm having other main package diagram, that is a data management. Under data management there are two things are there. Whatever ordering the particular product, that information should be stored over here. What are the product of shipment is done, that information is stored over here. So to track the particular order, we can able to retrieve the data from this data management. So now you are plotted all the different package now, and now it is a time to give the communication between all your package diagram. So now we'll take example of this particular business. Accounts department is depends upon how much of order is done by the particular customer, and now this ordering is depends upon the user interface, how that your user interface is going to be communicated. Due to that only the order is getting happen, and whatever the ordering is done, based upon that only the shipping is getting going to be transferred from one place to another place. And this order information and the shipping information are going to be communicated to the dependency in the data management package diagram, right? And accounts department, always the accounts department will going to be communicate in your bank, right? So this is how the package diagram will going to be communicate in detailed manner, and the communications are between these two packages is always dependency. And this is a references, and you can go ahead, and if you have any query related to this particular topic, you may contact to this particular email ID. So we will help you. And thank you, my dear student.